Morning YouTube. My last video I didn't discuss as many points as I'd like to have discussed due to time lapse and being that it was a spontaneous video. So today I'm going to be talking about some other things that have to do with historical ninjutsu. So let's get started. The last time I mentioned some of the things that happen in ninjutsu, such as espionage, information gathering, but I didn't discuss where either of them fit into any categories. And what I mean by this is that historically ninjutsu is split up into two different types of ninjutsu. There's inin and yonin, and this concept comes from yin and yo, or yin and yang. In would be yin, yo would be yang, dark and light ninjutsu, so to say. What inin is sneaking into a castle or a mansion, better yet, at night, not wanting to be seen. This is where ninja they try to gain entrance into a house and they do not want to be seen at all. Dark ninjutsu. Yonin would be the light ninjutsu, which is going out in the open, in disguise, and gathering information that way, blending into the crowd, like you see in Assassin's Creed. So yeah, inin and yonin. That's about it. That's the gist of it. Speaking of ninja trying not to be seen, I'd like to make mention of the ninja suit. Yeah, the ninja suit, what most historians believe is that it comes from the Edo period, where a lot of artwork is depicted showing a thief clad in black, with a hand towel or tenugui wrapped around their face. But the Shoninki, written in 1681 by a ninja named Natori Masatake, speaks about how a ninja, when performing inin, when sneaking in at night and not wanting to be seen, how he should wear dark colors like black, dark reds, blues, etc., and how they should have a tenugui or hand towel that will cover the cheeks or cover the face. So that's probably where the idea of the ninja suit comes into play. What else can we say about here? Some historical ninja, some real famous historical ninja. There's Hattori Hanzo Masanari, the first. Hattori Hanzo Masanari was the second man to bear the name Hattori Hanzo. He was born in Echizen, and he worked for Tokugawa Ieyasu, who would later become shogun and rule the country. His family would rule the country for the next 200 years, which would then lead into the modernization of Japan in the 1800s. Hanzo was also called Devil Hanzo, and his father was Hattori Hanzo Yasunaga, and the first Hattori Hanzo, and the man who would write the Ninpiden. What we know about Hanzo is that he led a strike force at the age of 16 of about 60 or 70 shinobi, and that his family comes from the Hattori family of Iga. Eventually his descendants would stop practicing ninjutsu, like his son, who would later, the third Hanzo, who the Iga ninja under him would rise up against. So there's Hattori Hanzo. There's Momochi Tanba, who during the Warring States ruled southern Iga, while Hanzo II ruled the middle of Iga, and Fujibayashi ruled northern Iga. Not much is known about Momochi, other than that he ruled southern Iga, and he was a master of disguise, and that he fought against Oda Nobunaga during the Iga Wars from 1579 to 1581. There are many theories as to what happened. He apparently surrendered at Kashiwabara Castle, but Other than that, no one knows whether he was killed in battle or he fled. What we do know is that his descendants still live nowadays, and they live in Nabari City. His descendant, his 19th generation descendant, Momochi Mikio, still lives. There's Fujibayashi Nagato. Not much is really known about him either. Not much. There are no really historical records of him being in the Iga Wars either. But what we do know is that he was from the Fujibayashi family of northern Iga, and also of southern Koka, and that he could have been Momochi Tanpa, although most historians think that's just fiction. His descendants would later write the Banten Shukai, which are considered one of the biggest ninjutsu manuals, next to the Shoninki and the Ninpiden. The Shoninki being written by Natori Masatake, and the Ninpiden being written by Hattori Hanzo I. We also have Mochizuki Chiyome, who established one of the first well-known kunoichi networks. For those who don't know, a kunoichi is a female ninja. She established a kunoichi network for her lord Takeda Shingen, and she was related to both the Mochizuki of Koka and the Mochizuki of Shinano. The Mochizuki of Shinano probably have nothing to do with ninjutsu, but the Mochizuki of Koka were historical ninja. Right, what a kunoichi did was, they weren't trained like the male ninja. They were actually trained to use sex as a weapon, so to say, to, gather information using their beauty and that kind of stuff. So there's also Natori Masatake, who founded the Kishu Ryu of ninjutsu. He worked for the Kishu Tokugawa family, which was one of the 3 branches of the Tokugawa family during the Edo period. Not too much is known about him. The only thing we know about him is written in his book, the Shoninki. So those are some historical ninja. Right, when was ninjutsu created? Not really known. What we could give a guess at, and most probably, is that it was created during the late 14th century and early 15th century. During, I would say, around the southern and northern courts period. That's when a ninja were officially established. But before that, during the Hogan period and the Kamakura period, that's when ninjutsu began to take its roots, I guess, in Iga and Koka. So those would be around the dates that ninjutsu actually came fold. As I said before, in my last period, during the Warring States period in the late 16th century, that's where ninja were at their heyday. And during the Edo period, that's when the role of ninja significantly changed. So yeah, that's some example of how ninjutsu evolved during the feudal period. What else can we talk about here? Ninjutsu today, right? Ninjutsu today is, well, most ninjutsu now has a very broken lineage, and the most you're gonna find are in manuals, so to say, like the Shoninki, the Rodanshu, the Ninpiden. There are some sword schools in Japan that have ninjutsu in their curriculum, like the Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinto Ryu or the Kashima Shinryu in Chiba. But other than that, there is no historical unbroken ninjutsu lineage within any martial arts school nowadays. Some schools nowadays that teach ninjutsu would be as I said, Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinto Ryu, Bujinkan, Genbukan, Jinenkan, although they really don't teach it as much as they used to anymore. And there are some suspicions as to their historical ninjutsu lineage, so to say, but they do have some examples in their schools. There are other people who claim to teach ninjutsu, but they are highly suspicious, a lot more so than the Bujinkan and the other cons, so I would not go to them at all as sources. But right, as I said, you could probably find historical ninjutsu and try to recreate it from the Shoninki, the Nippiden, or the Bansen Shukai, which are being translated by a man named Anthony Cummins, and there are some people trying to take a go at it. I guess that's it. If you have any questions, just send a private message or leave a comment on this video down below. And if you need anything asked, I'll get to it immediately or find someone else who can answer. Guess that's it.